You're welcome back to the Marketplace. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has called on commercial banks in the country to focus on investing in initiatives that will promote sustainable environment. According to him, the world is moving towards programs that seek to promote green economy, and Ghana cannot be left out. The Vice President was speaking during the launch of the Sustainable Banking Principles and Sector Guidelines for banks in the country. He also urged them to support the private sector in embarking on such projects.
It's clear that a lot of work has taken place. This has been a lot of work, and we are now being aligned to the global standards so that Ghana is, because as you can see, the thinking now is about climate change. That is the thinking, and money is only going to move to places which take climate change into account and sustainable banking principles into account. So if you are outside the loop, you will soon be basically sidelined. We cannot be outside the loop. This is why this is so important. On September 22nd of this year, about 130 banks from 49 countries, these are banks worth $47 trillion US, they all got together just this year, September, to sign up to the sustainable banking principles. This is just a couple of months. 130 banks from 49 countries with capital of $47 trillion, right? So a few months later, Ghana is also coming along. So we are not too bad in that context. We are aligning ourselves with the global banking principles. We are not going to be left behind in any way. I specifically want to congratulate the Sustainable Banking Principles Steering Committee.
Let's turn our attention to some agri stories. And Ghana imports about 60% of oil palm from other countries, including Malaysia. Locally based processing company Benso Oil Palm Plantation says it is able to do just a month's supply of the commodity to producers of Frytol cooking oil, Walma, all year round. Ghana's land tenure system has been blamed for this, and according to Benso Oil Palm Plantation, is only accounting for 6,700 hectares of the commodity. Udilia Ntiamwa has more in this report.
Established in 1976, with a current workforce of close to 1,700, Benso Oil Palm Plantation decided to expand its frontiers, and guess what? They are actually employing close to 500 outgrowers whose lives have totally been transformed. But for me, the hook is that the oil palm plantation is generating its own electricity of 1 megawatt. That's about 90% of their energy needs. We're here to really dissect what happens at the Benso Oil Palm Plantation. So, come with us. In 1997, 69-year-old Peter Louis Mensah got 4.5 hectares of palm trees from the Benso Oil Palm Plantation. As a resident of Edum Banso, one of the 3 communities benefiting from the plantation, he tells the team how his life totally transformed.
Oh, without this, nobody at this our catchment area knows how to go to bank for something or go and have loan. We don't have anything at bank. We don't have any savings. But how can you go to bank and attend loan? No. But with this thing, they send our money through the bank, and with this, you can go to the bank and request some money, and they will give it to you. But with the help of Bob, every month they will pass your money through bank, and they will make the deduction. Oh, I've got about 5,000 Ghana here.
Which ideally you wouldn't have been able to access.
Oh, when? With the living condition here, when? And when will you see it? Even with the age that, when you live here for about 40 years, we won't see that money. Yeah.
As old as Peter is, Benso even goes further to support him to harvest the fruits. Farmers are paid close to 1,000 Ghana cedis every 2 weeks, making close to 2,000 cedis a month. I have come to town to speak to other farmers. Agnes Amo, a widow, also got one of the farms in 1997. Since then, proceeds have been used to get other farms and even support the extended family.
Since I joined the Benso Outgrower scheme, I have taken care of my sister's children in the university and built my own house.
Well, so the sustainability footprints of the Benso oil palm plantation is clearly evidential here. They currently do some 6,800 hectares of plantation, but the ability of this to sustain the factory needs of the Walmer refinery is really below capacity. They can do just 10% of the oil needs of the refinery. Nationwide, we actually provide the refinery just about 40% of oil palm. So what the refinery is left with is to do some 60% importation.
Over time, Unilever had decided they were exiting plantation business. So the impetus to look for land and to expand was not there. It was not part of management strategy. But even if it were, experience from other plantations have shown that today, if you want to acquire a piece of land, one contiguous land of 5,000 hectares, the number of chiefs you are going to have to bring together and the number of dissenting groups that you are going to bring together, it's almost a nightmare, you know. So that's the biggest problem. But even if you were able to handle this, the land tenure system, and you know that our lands are held by the chiefs in trust for current and future generations. So getting them to release a land this size is a very big challenge. And it has to take the state with deliberate policies to address this.
At 7 p.m., palm fruits are still being processed. Because the quality of oil produced could be affected if the harvest for the day is not cleared. We have been asked to film quickly because there will not be palm fruits to produce oil the next day. Virtually the whole palm tree is useful. The chaff from the fruit has generated 1 megawatts of electricity, which takes care of 90% of the electricity needs of the company, saving them close to 3 million Ghana cedis year on year. So during the energy crisis, this company worked at full capacity.
For year-to-date figures, we are talking of, we've generated more than 2.7 million kilowatt hours of energy in-house. And that will translate to something like, just only for the kilowatt hour charges, will be something like 2.3 million Ghana cedis. And when they put in their maximum demand charges and all the taxes and things like that, it could be as high as 3.5 million Ghana cedis. If we are to have more raw materials, then the amount of power we even generate is going to go much higher than that. Then we could be talking about doing maybe 98%. Because during the first half of the year, when we have a lot of the raw materials available, we do around 96% of the power we generate in-house from the steam turbine that we have.
The chief of the community, Nana Kwando Brempong, is overwhelmed at the benefits Bob has brought to his community. From thatched houses in 1976 to the current development, including rural electrification, what he wonders why chiefs are not releasing lands for the development of their communities.
People who couldn't have afford, to send their children or their wards to senior schools, in fact, could do it because of the income, especially the smallholder system that came in. That's going to help a bit. People have also been able to build In fact, it has actually gone to improve the lives of the people of Edinburgh. So my advice to my colleague chiefs is that they should at least release lands for such projects.
The footprint of this agro-based company is also here. The leading school in the district and perhaps one of the top 10 in the Western region. 2 girls from the school won an award during the celebration of Girls in ICT Day with the Ministry of Communication.
I won a laptop and an iPad.
Last year, 3 of our students went to Adusada. Almost 20 went to GSTS. Yes. We had girls ICT training, and during the workshop, our students came out best. And even and in December, they will be going to Accra, and they were giving awards too.
The school has churned out intellectuals, and Gordon is one.
Growing up here, my dad had a farm, which was at the boundary of the company. So on Saturday mornings, we would walk through the plantation to the farm. And as we move on, you would see workers working. And it was interesting to see them. Imagine that someday you may come back and also contribute your quota to the development of this company. And one of the things that I saw here, where the managers and the cars that they drove, we walked. So when I was a child, I told myself when I grew up, I'll be a manager. I didn't know the type of manager I wanted to be, but my aspiration was that I'll be a manager so that I'll have a car. So that was one of the things that influenced my academic and even my career.
Retired 15 years ago, this 77-year-old teacher has his daughter also benefiting.
And me especially, it has helped me a lot. Poor teacher. How could I have sent my child to Legon? But through the scholarship, yeah, I am able to do that. Bob, last year, for instance, it was about 4,600 that they paid. I didn't pay even a peso. So it has helped me a lot. And presently, as I'm speaking, he's now in Benin.
Benso Oil Palm has so far moved some of its operations into Nigeria, where they are developing 30,000 hectares. Sustainability runs through the very fabric of this oil palm project, with several benefits, including employing close to 2,000 people. All Benso Oil Palm Plantation is begging for is land to increase its footprints, including employment, education, and green energy. Odilia Ntiamwa, Joy Business.
Let's do some more agri stories. Rice farmers in the Huerta enclave of the Volta region have been engaging the Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture on the back of the recent rice glut in some parts of the country. This engagement is being spearheaded by the Copa Connect program undertaken by Copa Rice Company Limited in order to buy rice directly from farmers going forward. Freduho was with the team and has filed this report. Many people hold the view that rice produced in Ghana and sold in the open market is expensive compared with imported ones. However, manager of Global Agri Development Company, GATCO, a rice processing factory, Joel Chachu, believes the high price is due to high overhead costs, including high electricity tariff as the main source of power and excessive taxes taking a toll on their business. During a field trip to the processing site of GATCO, producers of copper and Aduanehin rice at Sogakope in the South Tong district of the Volta region, General Manager Joel Chachu indicated the rice millers are forming an association to engage further with government to help beat down overheads and also benefit from subsidies.
If they spend 1,000 cedis per hectare, they decide to put maybe 20% on it or 25%. All the stakeholders will have to agree that 20% is appropriate as margin for the farmer or 25% is appropriate. So when the agreement is made or they conclude on some agreement, that will be the price. We are into business, but then that's why we are there to also make sure that we try to convince them not to put too much excess margins, you understand, so that we can also procure. Now, it also informs where to buy, because in some of the locations their pricing is lower, some of the locations their pricing is higher. And it means that we also have to look where it is cheaper to buy, because we also we as rice millers are into a discussion. We now grouped ourselves and we are looking at the areas where we need government to intervene so that we can also help government to achieve this.
The Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture, Kennedy Osei-Nyaku, who was part of the field trip, met with some local rice farmers at Avalavi Weta in the Ketu North District to encourage farmers not to relent on their efforts to expand their farms and adopt best practices to enhance production. He said the onus lies on citizens to consume locally produced rice and help reduce the high cost of imports.
Government has a bigger picture of how to increase our production in terms of rice in this country. Because rice has now become a staple food in every home, virtually every home in this country is eating it. So a commodity of that nature, you cannot just treat it anyhow. And we know how it is putting pressure, rice import is putting pressure on our public base. It is draining us, it is draining the country. And we are spending a huge chunk of our reserve in importing rice.
Some farmers who rely on the Weta irrigation scheme under the Irrigation Development Authority say their farms need urgent drainage systems to channel the water appropriately to help alleviate the plight. They say this will in effect help them to scale up production.
Our roads leading to the farms are in bad state. Even the drainage system is very poor. We want something to be done about this situation for us to harvest rice. The quantity of rice we used to get have diminished. We are making all efforts by ourselves to get some excavators that will help drain dredges. The reason why a number of the farmers are not interested in partnering with Wenko is because anytime they come to buy, it takes them a long time for them to pay.
A private rice processing firm, Wenko, in partnership with government, has now resolved to buy all rice produced locally to avoid any future glut. Wenko is a subsidiary of RMG Company Limited, and it was in the Volta region to start with purchases. Feduho's report for Joy Business. Let's go to the Ashanti region now. The local weaving industry continues to face stiff competition due to the influx of similar fabrics and prints into the country. Even the traditional kente cloth is under threat of extinction from the indiscriminate import phenomenon. There is, however, a new trend which names of some local celebrities are given to various patterns of traditional fabrics as a way of promoting and marketing the products. Prince Appear looks at the impact of high-profile and popular persons wearing kente cloth on sales and marketing.
This is the historic Bonre Weaving Center in Ashanti region. Many tourists visit here quite often because they are attracted by the culture and beauty of kente all year round.
We were inundated with kente cloth and there were so many people selling the cloth. I chose to buy white and gold.
I think this fabric and each fabric has a story, which I think is really beautiful. And that each one has like a different name and meaning, which I thought was really beautiful as well.
Frank Sapon's weaving shop. With many years of experience in the industry, he is worried the influx of Chinese kente print is taking a toll on the business.
The kente I bet on be a 2000, 2005. Near material, no be a could be a 20 cities. No pump a good kente in the mass.
Importation of the printed kente is killing our business. Kente cloth that sells at 2,000 cedis. The Chinese pirates it and sell as low as 20 cedis. It is not good for us.
Due to cumbersome processes of producing kente, its prices are higher than the normal wax print. Depending on the type, it ranges from 500 to 2,000 Ghana cedis. As a result, players in the industry have adopted innovative ways of marketing and selling the local kente cloth.
The popular kente cloth comes in so many colors and
so many names. This here is called Obama because the ex-president of the United States wore it. Now this on my right is John Dumelo because he wore it to his wedding. And this is Gifty Auntie because she wore it most and popularized it. All these come together to help the weavers to market these products onto the Ghanaian and international market. Here at Tech Junction Kumasi, it's one of the Kente retail points where Joseph Boache has been selling for 12 years. He acknowledges the impact of these names of celebrities on sales. A Jinso is a cloth that exists already, but after Sarkodie wore it for his wedding, the name changed to Sarkodie. So when celebrities wear, it helps with sales. There is also Obama and Gifty Auntie. If I love the person and he or she wears it, I'm compelled to buy same. For me, I buy because it is nice on the celebrities. Perhaps increased association to and wearing of Kente by celebrities could be the non-tariff difference in the fight against piracy for survival of the local industry. Prince Apia reporting.
And that will be it for the marketplace. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Opwaji. Have a good afternoon.